Good morning. Welcome to Sephra's Pop Culture Channel. I'm Sephra and this is my channel. If you like what you see, please feel free to follow me, share the videos, subscribe to the videos, like the videos, or don't like the videos. Your opinion is all that matters because I certainly am sharing mine. This morning, I thought I'd hop on because there's been a couple of things going on, and now that I'm reviving my pop culture channel, I thought I should chime in on them. Last night I was scrolling through Boomer Book on a little break, and I saw some news. So Boomer Book is still good for some things. I do find out a lot of things on Boomer Book that I normally wouldn't, so I still continue to use it. And so in this case, I belong to a lot of 90 Day Fiance groups, and I'd been watching 90 Day Fiance last night, of course. It was Monday night. I only watched The Single Life, and I can barely stand that. I don't watch The Diaries at all. I can't deal with any of it. I do have the Discovery Channel app, so I can actually watch these things anytime I want. But I like to watch 90 Day Fiance, like the Sunday night one. I like to watch it as it's played because I like to go on Twitter or X and yip and yap and gossip with all the other people doing it, although it's way less people now, of course, because things have changed so much. But anyway, so I was scrolling through the Boomer Books and I saw all this drama going on. And anyway, so the bottom line is Michael and Angela, Angela Deem and Michael Elisami. So you might recall Angela and Michael they've been on 90 Day Fiance franchise a couple of times. Angela's a big brassy blonde lady, very loud. A lot of people hate her, a lot of people love her. I like her because she reminds me a lot of a couple of people I know in real life, and they're exactly like her, only not as low in the financial ladder, but they are, they're the big ball brassy types too, so I get it. Doesn't mean I like it or love it or even want to be around it. Anyways, but I do get Angela, so I do get that she is an honest and sincere person who's been hurt a lot. She does have a mouth. She is an abusive type person, but she has a big heart. And I think because she's probably been through a lot in her life, she, squawks before she, I think she said she's a fire sign. I should have looked it up. I think she said she's a Sag and he's a Leo. Anyway, so if that's a lot of fire, then that's a lot. I should have double checked that before I opened my mouth on here. Anyways, so I was scrolling through and there was this stuff, and I'd seen it before where Michael had disappeared. So I did actually listen to a bit of that YouTube, and then all of a sudden I saw, like I said, I was scrolling through on Boomer Book and saw that Michael has been found. So what happened is Michael is in the States. Spoiler. I don't even know if they're going to be on again anyways. But apparently Michael finally made it to the States. And 2 months ago, almost to the day, apparently on Friday. So Friday, Angela went to the store and Michael was taking care of 1 to 10 of the grandchildren. I'm unclear. Because as we know, Angela babysits all her children's children all the time, even though Angela has a job herself. I think she's a nurse's assistant or something like that, caretaking type job. And that's what I mean. She takes care of her grandchildren, her children, or other people. Or she was caring for her mother when we first met her on the 90 Day Fiance, and her mother was a crusty old broad like her, from what I could tell. Her mother passed away while during the filming of the series. But so Angela and Michael's story's been going on for about 7 years. I think we've seen them on the franchise for maybe four, and they're like I said, they've been on a couple of the different incarnations before and during, and we never actually saw them, Michael coming to America, but we have seen them get married and stuff in Nigeria. So, trusted Michael ever? It's from Nigeria. So Angela is like a big brassy woman, and like I said, pretty abusive, but she does deeply love Michael. You can tell, and like the first time she went over, she brought him all this Trump stuff, and he's excited to meet Trump. But then there's been some weird stuff. Like Michael cared and Angela's just a hothead, but then they'd leave a few things in, or even at the tell-alls and stuff, where you had a sense we're not getting the whole story. Of course, you never do. It's TV and entertainment and all that, but you know, anyone with a multiple hundreds of hours of footage. They have to pick and choose what makes a good story, what will people tune into, and so on. And it can't just be their show all the time. But it seems like over the years we've sort of had an inkling that Michael may not be exactly who we think he is, because she'll, even though she looks like she reason, we kind of gather that Michael has lied to her, or she had he did to cheating on her early, very early on, and since Angela only goes over like once a year, what you know, money's tight. She's not a rich woman whatsoever, and he certainly is a scumbag. She sends money and the whole bit, you know. Um, And so, you know, and they're on the phone constantly. And it might be one of those cases where she doesn't let him work. I can't remember exactly their details. But anyways, he's finally over here. Finally. And he's a lot younger than her too. She's like my age. I think she's about 4 or 5 years younger than me. And he is like my children's age. So, like I think he's in his 30s now. I'm not sure. I can't remember. Appeared. So Angela went to the store, and while she was at the store, Michael was supposed to be taking care of one or 10 of the grandchildren. But then the camera showed that he walked out of the house and then turned right or left down the street. And he left nothing. He just walked and left. And then so last night, so I listened to a bit of Angela crying and screaming. She doesn't know where he is and what's going on and all this. And then while I was trying to get to the bottom of that, and also was listening to some Russ stuff, then there was another live on John on YouTube, because John and his husband went to Angela's house. So there were a couple of live YouTubes he did, and I saw the first one, like I said, where they're announcing that he's missing and she's tripping out and crying and stuff. And then the next YouTube last night, I saw part of it because I wasn't getting anywhere with finding out what was going on. And then it was like 11 at night and my son's toilet overflowed, and he lives a few buildings away from me. So I was trying to help him. It was kind of apropos. Toilet water everywhere. So it seemed like Michael's been found, but now the story is interesting, or kind of like what we kind of maybe thought. Um, so I guess Michael saw or heard Angela tripping out, and you know, he'd been missing for 3 days and she's beside herself. She doesn't know if he's dead or alive or what's going on. And so he did phone the police, and he said that he was afraid for his life. Their cell phone. So this is what we know. There may be more to the story now, because now it's like 10 o'clock the next day. There's probably lots more, but I just Googled what I could before I came in. And so um, I suspect he might have someone else. And a lot of people have speculated this for years, of course, because I'm wondering, like, if he walked out of the house with nothing and then disappeared for 3 days, and so nobody could find him, the police and so on, no one could find him. Um, so then it's like, so what's going on? So in my mind, at first I was worried. When I first heard the news, I was worried that he had gotten jumped and beaten up and was in a ditch somewhere, because he is a black man in a very white, very white, rural, southern type place. I'm sure there's a lot of racism where they are. But I don't know that for sure. I could just be shooting my mouth off, so I'm sorry. But now I'm leaning more towards the idea that he has had someone else all along in the States as well, probably using both Angela and the other person. So now we've discovered he has a second phone, so he's probably making connections with that. That other person probably set him up with new passport, clothes, new life, and all that. Because if he's running away from Angela to be in the States, getting his green card finally after 7 years of whatever they went through, he probably could start fresh. And for all we know, Michael isn't even his real name. We don't know. We know nothing. Maybe his real name is on the other passport. Anyways, it's all just speculation, but that's where we are right now. Is we know Michael's safe, but we're not too sure what's going on. And I'm sure Angela's tripping out. And then it's come out, I read a little article today that they did have a fight. She told him to leave. Then she went to the store, and then she came back and he was gone. So, yeah. So that's exciting. And not surprising whatsoever. A lot of people in the chat were speculating, yeah, he's there for, he made it, and now he's, 2 months almost to the day he takes off with whoever, or just running away in general. Can't take it anymore. Speculation, maybe she's super abusive and he ran away. Then the speculation, he might have another girlfriend. Or then Angela's been apparently saying he's gay, and now he's here and now he can be gay, and I don't know. Anyways, that's that. Enough of that. And yesterday I watched a lot of the Rust court case in the afternoon, the after lunch, a few hours worth. And I have to say, I really, I don't want to say enjoyed, but maybe the word is appreciated. Ross Aldiego, who is the Dolly grip operator, gave his side of the story. And it was interesting to see because, in the chats and stuff, people were calling him Walter White and all this. Oh, that's the other thing. On John Yates' YouTube, I wanted to ask questions because I came in and Angela's rambling, and there's no visuals on the screen. And every now and again, they do a rolling scroll that said, Michael's been found with a piece of shit or something like that. But we don't know what happened. And he had his YouTube locked down, of course, that I couldn't ask a question because I wasn't a subscriber. And even when I clicked subscribe, I couldn't ask a question for like 5 hours or something. So I still never got to ask, like, what is going on. It's frustrating when people do that. A lot of people do that on YouTube. And then so now the channel I was watching the Rust thing on did it as well. So I couldn't ask, where are we? What's going on? And I was watching that one on Court TV, so I can probably ask questions today. But I find that really annoying, offensive, and bullshit when people do that on their YouTube channels. I think anyone should be able to comment anytime on anyone's YouTube. I mean, YouTube's a free service. Why do we have to pay or be a subscriber to comment? I do think it's bullshit. And I hate it when people do that. And, you know, I will subscribe the odd time to a channel that does that long enough so I can like make a comment or ask a question. And then I'll unsubscribe because I don't agree with that policy. I think it's dumb. But of course, I've never had a popular live YouTube channel, so maybe they need to do that. But I don't see how that, you know, anyone can be a subscriber. Assholes can be subscribers as easily as non-assholes. So, anyways. So I really appreciated his testimony, Ross's testimony. He went on and he seemed to be speaking from the heart, and he was crying and really upset. And then the cross-examination lawyer came up and he just rubbed him wrong. And so then we saw Ross get angry and antsy and shooting his mouth off and stuff, which was great. It was good to see because the lawyer was being a jerk and being probing. And yeah, so Ross really sort of encapsulated for all of us the pain and grief and shock and horror of being on that set while it happened, the killing of Helena Hutchins. And of course, we learned more again about how there was live ammunition on set, and then we're watching outtakes of Alec Baldwin handling the gun and practicing with it and putting it in and out of his coat, and I'm just going, oh my God. And a lot of people in the chat were too, but of course I couldn't comment in the chat because I wasn't a subscriber. People were commenting, you know, like, imagine like that he had a live bullet in there. Anytime he's screwing around with this thing, it could have gone off. And that would have been the end of Alec Baldwin too. So it was pretty terrifying, you know, and they pointed out again how he had live ammunition in his belt and there's live ammo all over the set and how a gun had gone off the day before. And of course, the lawyer for Hannah is, you know, kind of doing the whole, well, if it was so bad, why didn't y'all leave? Well, of course, most of the crew did try to leave the day before this all went down. And so it's kind of a skeleton crew that was left trying to continue to work on the show. So, but, you know, it's all fine and dandy that, oh, yeah, it was so bad, you should have left. But it reminded me of, like, abusive relationships and, you know, the fear of leaving or the financial hit of leaving or the repercussions of leaving something. So you could get on board with what was going on with there. So it'll be interesting how the week progresses because that lawyer for Hannah really pissed off Ross, and he said a lot of things like, my friends are dead. Like, come on. You know, what are you talking about? And then the last thing I'll touch on is The Bachelor. Yes, I watched The Bachelor, kind of, sort of, little secret, you know, my dirty little, sometimes I watch it. So last night, I've been curious, you know, because I'm in Canada, so the Canadian girl, Maria, and of course she always, I always liked her anyways, because she's a spunky little spitfire, not just because she's from Canada. She's from like an hour away from Toronto. She's from Kleinburg. I used to buy crystals and stuff in Kleinburg at a specialty store that they would wholesale to us. When I used to have a bigger business selling crystals and jewelry and stuff, and would buy all her supplies in Kleinburg. So I know exactly where Kleinburg is. And so Maria, I'm Team Maria. So last night, again, she was upset about seeing Joel is Joel? I can't remember. With all the other people. And he... so she was going to leave. I watched 90 Day Fiance, then I flip over. So it's, The Bachelor's been on an hour whenever I watch it. So it was just at the point where, whoops, my screen went off. It's just at the point where she's telling Dude that, she's out of there because she can't handle seeing him kissing other women in front of her and stuff like that. I didn't see the incident she was going to. And of course, you know, with the magic of the TV, I can go back and rewatch anytime, but I got no time for that. I got too much to do today. Anyway, so she was going to leave, then she decided not to, but then he's all upset. Oh, I don't know whether to keep her or not, which is such bullshit, because the reason why she was going to leave is because she's falling in love with him and she's jealous, and it hurts her to see him kissing other people. And of course, this is how it's been for 30 years on this show, but she actually said it out loud, and she's addressing her emotions that she doesn't know how much more she can take, or if she can take it with dating someone and seeing them with other women, especially when we're coming up to, we're coming up to hometowns and fantasy suites and all that stuff. And of course, I always go back to the show's been on for like 100 years. If you don't know what you're getting into, by the time you go on this show, like, what the fuck, right? Like we all know what's happening. Yes, he is going to make out with other women in front of you. Yes, he's going to tell other women he loves them. And, yes, he's going to screw other women. And that's how that show goes. But unlike real life, we could see it and you know exactly who your competition is. Although when you're dating in the real world, or even if you're married, your partner's out with other people and you don't even know it. So at least here, you know the battle you're in. And so I always say, I guess, that's my bitter being cheated on voice, but, at least she knows what's, who her foe is, as it were, friend or foe. And so then she, realized what she was doing, and so she decided to stay, but now he's all like, oh, well, she could leave any minute. She could leave any minute. But he's seeing it from a different view, but he should be seeing it from the view that she wants to leave because she does like him so much and she does want to be with him at the end, but she's not sure if her emotions can handle seeing all the bullshit she's going to have to go through to get there. And it might be easier for her emotionally and mentally if she just gives up or whatever, because she's not sure she's going to be there till the end. None of us know or are sure. So anyways, he did give her a rose last night, so she's down for another week. But now they're doing all this drama of, oh, he doesn't know if she'll really stay. But, I'm looking at the remaining women. I'm not sure. Like, to me, Maria is the best one for him. Whether he picks her or not, I don't know. Well, none of us know, of course. But, a lot of people want Daisy to be the one. I don't see it. I don't really... The only charisma I see with the remaining girls is Maria. She's the only one that even has personality as far as I'm concerned. But then again, I like her. I like women like that call it, like they say, kind of like a mini Angela, but not as not as brutal. But she Maria's real. She calls it. You always know where you stand with her because she's just gonna tell you. And then the other three women, they're very bland personalities, and I'm sure they're all lovely. And like I said, I only kind of watch half the show every week because I watch 90 Day Fiance first. So maybe I don't know them as well as I should, but I don't see him with any of them unless it's Maria. And judging from all the previews and teases and stuff, I'm not convinced he goes with Maria either. So we'll have to see what happens. Anyways, that's enough of that. That's my morning catch up on 3 things. So yeah, hope y'all have a fantastic day, and we'll see you later. Oh, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, I'll probably be tuning into the Rust trial again today, even though I have so much work to do. But it's like the Depp trial that, Johnny Depp, Amber Heard. I just got glued to that. And so it's fascinating. And I like to see what's happening as it happens, as opposed to all the spin that all the channels do after the fact. So we'll see how the day goes. It's really sunny today, as you can see. I look like a ghost today. And that's great. I like the sun. We had so much, I think we had 2 days of sun in January or something. So bring on the sun, bring on spring. I'm here for it. Have a great day.